A year that was supposed to be about marking time for nerds until next year's Star Wars The Force Awakens turned out to have some superpowered punch of its own. The Daily News looks back at the top 5 geek news stories of 2014. At number 5, comic books were on TV almost every night. The Flash ran up some pretty strong ratings for CW right out of the starter's block, and with the success of Bat prequel Gotham, there have been enough comic book characters on television to stuff a Hall of Justice. With Arrow and Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and of course The Walking Dead as other examples of successful comic book adaptations on the small screen, it's a pretty good time to be a nerd armed with a TV remote. Number 4, The Purple Wedding. Forget George Clooney's and Kim Kardashian's respective nuptials. The social event of the year for us geeks was the so-called Purple Wedding on Game of Thrones. Watching King Joffrey choke to death on his own wine was a vicarious thrill for all of us fans of the HBO fantasy series who have pledged our fealty to House Stark. Number 3, the Star Wars Episode 7 trailer. It may have been only 88 seconds long, but few full-length theatrical releases packed the punch of our first look at director J.J. Abrams' Star Wars The Force Awakens. The Force was strong enough with just the money shot of the Millennium Falcon in full flight for the first time in 30 years. But when new villain Kylo Ren fired up his cross-shaped lightsaber, I instantly reverted into the 4-year-old who watched the original Star Wars in the theater. Number 2, Warner Brothers and Fox get into the Marvel act. Influenced by the success of arch-rival Marvel Studios, Warner Brothers finally unveiled its plan for a mammoth shared cinematic universe featuring its DC superheroes, with movies running through 2020. Fox is the X factor in this burgeoning Cold War, and they too announced that they would expand their X-Men franchise to include spin-offs like Channing Tatum's Gambit and Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. And of course Marvel upped the ante too, announcing even more movies. Jared Leto as the Joker, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Fans better start filing for a second mortgage to afford tickets for all these movies. And speaking of Marvel, our top geek event of 2014 has to be the enormous box office success of Guardians of the Galaxy. Even the biggest comic book reader would never have guessed that Guardians of the Galaxy would end up as the top grossing movie of the year. It's based on a pretty obscure comic series, features a talking raccoon, and a virtual unknown at the time, Chris Pratt, in the lead. But consider it solid proof that moviegoers would pay for tickets to see it 2 hours of a Yule log as long as it had the Marvel logo before it.